Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stump the Damn Rockstar, the Damn Fest Europe edition. This is everyone's favorite session, and it's really designed for those of you who have sat through an incredible program of content today. And when you come to a conference like this or attend a conference like this virtually, I imagine you came to this conference with some questions, right? And hopefully most of those questions were answered throughout the day today. But undoubtedly, there's some of you out there who still have some questions that you're hoping you get answered. And so we put this session at the end of the day so that you can ask this esteemed panel of rock stars your toughest questions, and so that you can get not only one answer but potentially three answers to your toughest questions. And among those three, hopefully there's one answer that works really well for you. So with that said, let's talk about the rules here. The idea behind this session is that we have three fantastic damn rock stars, certainly, but the success of this succession really depends on all of you. So I want you all to quickly come to a conclusion as to which question you think will stump these rock stars the most, and add that to your Hublot question and answer tab on as part of this your conference experience. You can start entering those questions anytime now, but just start entering your toughest questions into the Q&A panel, and we'll use those questions and pose them to our panelists. So once we have some questions, what we'll do is we'll take one question at a time, and I'll go through and try to make sure we have a representative set of questions, so we're not hitting the same topics over and over again. We'll hit a variety of different topics over the next 40 minutes or so. But once I ask a question, we'll then pose that question to our damn rock stars, and we'll give them each 90 seconds to give their best answer to that question. Now, here's the twist. In this session, we do not allow the rock stars who go after the first person who answers to hear what the person before them said. So what can happen is you can get three very similar answers, but more often than not, you get three very different answers, and that's kind of the fun of it. So it's a little bit different than when we do this in person. Sometimes we give the rock stars some really intense noise canceling headphones, but in today's session, obviously in a virtual world, we'll have them take off their headphones so they can't hear what the rock star before them says. Okay. Once you hear three answers from each of the once each of the rock stars gives their answer, you have three different answers. We'll ask you then to vote as to who you thought gave the best answer. So we're going to use, again, the Hublot polling feature. So we'll queue up the answers and the names of each of the rock stars, and I'll ask you at the end after each question's been answered, who you thought gave the best answer, and we'll deem a winner for each of those questions. But there are no real winners on the panel today. Sorry, Christina, Teresa, and Madi. The real winner is going to be amongst the audience. And once we get through as many questions as we have time for today, I'm going to look for Christina and Teresa and Madi to determine who stumped them the most, right? And the person whose question is deemed to be the most difficult and who stumped them the most will actually win a prize. You'll win your own pair of noise canceling headphones, so you can play at home. And so I always look forward to seeing who has the toughest questions. So I'm seeing some questions come in already. That's a good sign. Oh boy, we have some really good ones already. And I must say, when we went to a virtual way of doing this conference, I was concerned about this session and the logistics, but one of the really good things is, we're not constrained by geography, and we've had a ton of attendees. And if this session is going to be anything like the virtual session we did in the DamnFest North America version of this conference, we had an amazing amount of questions and some of the best that we've ever seen. So I'm looking forward to seeing those. And with that, let's introduce our rock stars. So we have a real interesting mix here today. We have a mix of veterans and one rookie. So you all know Teresa Regley, our conference host, and she is our defending champion. Not only did she, I believe, win the last virtual conference, but Teresa, I think you won the last European DamnFest. So you have a lot to live up to here, so no pressure. Madi,
like you said.
There's no winners on the panel, that's right.
No
winners.
Madi, you I believe came in a close second last time, but you know, I must say, sorry, Teresa, don't take offense to that, but Madi, your performance last time was the most memorable by a long shot. So
definitely,
you've set the
For
bar.
all
really
the
high.
wrong reasons, but hell, who cares?
You did a great job. And then we have, of course, Christina joining us for the first time on the panel, but I will say, I was reminded just as we were doing some prep for this, Christina is actually a past winner as a stumper. She asked the toughest question, I believe, last year at the DamnFest Europe, and so we had to make her a panelist this time. So
and I won these, so you too can win something awesome.
That's right. There is actually a prize. We're not lying about that. All right. So while I take a first glance at these questions that are coming in fast and furiously, I'm gonna just turn it to the three of you just really quickly, you know, in 30 seconds or less, if you don't mind. You know, tell me, we are all independent consultants. You all have worked with a ton of great clients over the years, and you have lots of experience doing that. But if you could put it into 30 seconds or less, you know, what's an ideal project for you all to work on? You know, what's your ideal client? What's your ideal project? What do you like doing the most? Christina, why don't you go first?
Yeah, so I've worked with a nice range of different clients, and I think it's not about the client or the brand. It's more about kind of if they have their ducks in a row. So I think about kind of the people, process, and technology. If you've got the buy-in, if you've got the right people on the team, you know, your processes, and you've got a good piece of technology that's integrated across the ecosystem, then hey, that is a perfect client. But I guess the reason we all have jobs is because most clients don't have a perfect situation. So that's what we're here to help with.
Great. How about you, Madi?
You know, I happen to like the most difficult clients. So I like clients that are kind of nasty. And I like them to ask impossible things from me. Like we would like to have a DAM that can use metadata and ontology, a lexicon that we all understand, and can make a martini.
Very good. Teresa?
I have to admit, my favorite is big companies, big, complex Fortune 500 companies that are extremely ambitious and have a lot of money. Because then they can fulfill the ambitions that they have, and that's what I enjoy. And projects like that often tend to attract very innovative and ambitious people, and I learn a lot from those people. So that's really my favorite sort of DAM project.
Awesome. Okay, that was just a warm-up question. We're not going to vote on who gave the best answer there. We're going to jump, now that you're all warmed up, we're going to jump right into our tough questions. So the first question, I believe, is from Sarah here. And Sarah asks, what is the best advice that you can give someone who is looking to transition in their job role from a related area? She's now in digital marketing, you know, more holistically digital marketing, and looking to focus instead on DAM. You know, her role is changing. She's gonna focus on digital asset management as opposed to holistic marketing. What skills should she be focusing on, and you know, what does she need to know as she looks to really succeed in the DAM world? So again, I'm going to say, Madi, I'm going to give you the first crack at this, and so Teresa and Christina, please take off your headphones, and I'll give you a heads up on when you're ready to go. Madi, take it away.
Gosh, darling, you want to move from marketing to digital asset management? You're going to have to change your entire personality. Marketing is outgoing and fun. Damn, we're a little introverted and we're nerdy. I think you might have to start reading the Journal for Digital Asset Management before you go to bed every night, and you'll get an idea of how solitary this kind of job is. I wish you the best of luck.
All right. Let's see, Teresa.
I'm not as funny as Madi. I'll start with that. So what I would say is attend this conference. So good first step, network. So as much as you can in the virtual world, try to have conversations with the people that are here and reach out to people and have conversations. You got to read a lot. And I believe the focus when you're a marketer with the reading should more be on the technology side of things. Because if you're educated in marketing and you know marketing, I know that's the biggest challenge that my marketing clients have is they lean forward and they say, Teresa, can you please explain to me how this really works? And if you want to be a marketing technologist beyond being a marketer, and DAM, of course, is part of that, you have to understand more about how technology works. And just read and network with people, and as much as you can, just learn about existing projects and implementations as much as possible.
All right.
We can keep our headset on afterwards, right? So that we can
once you've answered, you can listen. Yes. Okay. Christina, take it away.
Sarah, good question. And you know what? You've got a great head start because you're starting in marketing. So awesome that you already know about marketing and you don't need to learn too much more about that. You probably already also know about graphic design and the principles of things like the Adobe suite and how that works. That's also a really great starting place to be working with digital assets. The best advice that I can give, and the way that I started out, was just learn, like always be curious and keep learning, right? So talk to our fellow DAM community. They're amazing people, and we all love sharing our experiences and what's gone well and maybe what we haven't done so well. Take some courses. There's an incredible certification program now going on at Rutgers. I really recommend it. It's, I think, six series certificate course, really good one. And then also I'm running or curating a calendar for everybody as a way to give back to the community. So check out my website. You can see there have been 100 events, webinars, courses, conferences in the past kind of 4 months. So lots and lots to learn and lots of places to learn. So yeah, stay curious.
All right. So thank you for that, and thank you for doing that, Christina. That I get a lot out of that list, and I appreciate you including our webinars on there. That's always helpful. So good stuff. All right. So now we're going to do our voting for the first question. So I'm going to ask all of our attendees, go to the poll section of the Hubilo interface here and vote as to who you thought gave the best answer, Madi, Christina, or Teresa. We'll keep it open for just a few moments now, especially on this first one. I want to give everyone a chance to find it. Come on, people. I see you coming in. Here we go. Now they're coming in fast and furious.
I realize I don't have an alcoholic drink. This is the first stump I've done without an alcoholic drink, which is a real problem.
Advantage, Christina and Madi.
That's right.
All right. Okay, we're gonna call this one. I wish you all could see what I see, because I feel like I'm watching election results come in here. But I'm gonna call the state right now, and the first question, we're gonna go to the rookie Christina with 51.5% of the states reporting. Yes, we're all good. We're not gonna count any ballots after I end it. This is it. We're done.
I claim the victory now.
Already.
You can claim all you want, but this
Here
is
come the armed militias. Sorry.
In this session, this is not a democracy, so I'm going to vote who wins at the end. I'm going to call it. So, all right. Next question. The next question is around someone's teams. The question is, how do I best get my team's damn ducks in a row? Assets are absolutely everywhere and on numerous platforms, devices, and throughout many different regions and states. How do I get my team's ducks in a row? So this time, I believe we're going to start with Teresa. And so Christina and Madi, if you don't mind taking off your headphones, I'll give you the signal. Teresa, your 90 seconds begins now.
Okay, well, the first thing you need to do is an inventory. You need to figure out where everything is. So that might be you. I don't know who the best person to do that is, but you need essentially a list of servers or a list of systems that will outline, where all your digital assets are. And that should include the nature of those assets. Are they video? Are they pictures? Are they full Adobe Photoshop files, whatever they might be? So that's the first thing, asset inventory. And that, by doing that, you're also going to be able to outline and list your stakeholders, figure out who those people are that would be part of developing a strategy. So once you get a picture of your assets, you get a picture of your stakeholders, then you have to start talking to those stakeholders, talking to your upper management, and you have to develop a strategy and a plan. And that always includes three main things: people, process, technology. So based on organizational needs, enterprise needs, people's needs, users' needs, then you can figure out what your process should be, what your metadata should be, what your technology should be, and then you have a strategy. That's about all I can cover in 90 seconds. So that's what I would say: inventory, stakeholders, strategy, get a plan together, and then hopefully that's your ducks at least in a row.
All right. How do you get your ducks in a row? Good question. I think a lot of clients have this question. We all have content, not surprisingly, or maybe surprisingly, still on DVDs and external hard drives. I worked with one client who had accidentally locked their external hard drives into a very secure locker and couldn't get them out again. But in any case, first thing you want to do to get your ducks in a row is understand what content you have. So do a bit of an audit. It can be a high-level audit. You might not need to go too deep on that. And then start to come up with a migration plan on how to, where content should live. The DAM is not always the right place for all content, so you don't have to put everything in there, but decide what goes in. Then you want to also make sure that the people that need to migrate the content are empowered to do so. So teach them what they need to know, empower the uploaders, or work with a company to migrate everything kind of quickly. And I recommend you take a phased approach, right? So you don't want to do this all in one lump. Try to break it down into phases to start with your priority content, your low-hanging fruit. Not my favorite phrase, but yeah. And then, yeah, make sure you archive and delete content, right? Get rid of it, don't keep it. That's it, I'll stop there.
Oh, Madi.
Hello. Okay, thank you. I'm dumb and mute. How do you get your assets in a row? First, it's not the assets you need to get in a row, it's your team. Because it's the people that you need to get on board. And you do that by forming a consortium. Doesn't matter where they are anymore. We're all on Zoom together. So you don't actually have to go to them. You have to get them to come together. And you need to lead them into helping you map out a standard they all agree on. So that's not about you, that's about your team. And I would unabashedly try to get them to work together. How do you do that? I don't know. Send them a bottle of gin. You can also send biscuits, donuts. Edibles are always welcome by team members and they'll like you more. And if they like you more, they're more likely to collaborate. And that's the key to getting your assets in a row.
All right, very good. Three, like I said, three very different answers. So let's go to the polls. And How many of you thought Marty gave the right answer? Christina or Teresa? Please vote now. As people voted, I will say the questions have come in fast and furious. We have lots of questions and they're all awesome. Really, really good ones. All right, we'll just close this out and a few last precincts reporting. And all right, looks like this one, Teresa got it by a little bit. Yep, congratulations, Teresa.
Just love being with these smart ladies.
All right, next up, we have a question that we invariably, we always get certain questions in this session, right? And here's our requisite budgeting question. So once you've persuaded your company to invest in a DAM as a managed repository, what's the best way to persuade them to invest yet more money and more resources to make it a more integrated content provider? You know, especially in these times when you can't always justify in terms of generating additional revenue directly, right? It's hard to make that strict ROI cost or case when it comes to a DAM in certain cases. So, you know, how do you convince your management to say, we've got the DAM, that's a good start, but how do we make it more integrated across the enterprises and invest more to do that? Okay, I believe Christina, you're kicking us off this time, so take it away.
All right. So the first thing that you want to make sure you're doing is know who the decision maker is, who's holding the purse strings, who's my favorite new term is HIPPO, the highest paid person's opinion, right? So who's going to make that decision on budgeting and what happens. Now, I think ROI is still a really important thing to do. Make sure that you can prove the value of it. No one's going to throw money at a project where you can't say, this is how much savings we're going to have, or this is the efficiency is going to save us this much time and money. You've got to have that and build that business case. Make sure that you identify the pain points. And when it comes to integrations, look at each integration as a specific business case and scope that out.
Mute. There we go. Unmute. Well, you got to spend money to make money. That's a fact of life, unfortunately. But I think that the how you persuade is really dependent on the organization because it's different for every organization in terms of why you should spend more money on a DAM or why you should integrate it. But just to use a couple of examples, you have to tie DAM to the things that make the company money. So if you're a retailer, for example, then you need to talk about, well, if we have better relationships among our images, we'll be able to do more cross-selling and upselling. If you are a organization that targets or personalizes content, you could say, well, the more we have metadata about our assets and map it to demographics or user groups, the better we'll be able to target to specific demographics. If you're trying to get people to an event, for example, someday we'll be doing that again in person, you would take the historical information that you have about that particular person, and then you would target what's relevant to them. So I think it really has to do with what already makes your organization money. List those things out and then think about how can DAM facilitate those things that already make money, and that there are metrics to increase those things. And so it's never the DAM directly making the money. It's all the things that it enables. So it's explaining that bridge, being persuasive about that bridge, and then convincing your management that that's the way to go.
Okay, hi there. All right, how do you persuade after you've already gotten them to agree with you and to move on even from there? Well, I would say first you have to stop persuading and start performing. Use the DAM. I mean, if you have an idea of how it's going to be integrated, good on you. But if you talk about it too much, everyone's eyes will glaze over. So the first thing you need to do is deploy the DAM to the best of your ability. with the knowledge of the integrations that are in store. And once you can show the ROI on the dam, then the money purses will begin to trust you. And then you begin to slowly sort of show them the path to integration, almost in an agile way, step by step. You can't just keep persuading and expect them to keep writing checks. I think first is do the dam and do it well.
Okay. All right. Let's get the poll started and see who gave the best answer there. And while you're voting, if I may, I'm just going to add my own little 2 cents to this conversation. Is sometimes I found is in order to make the case for integrating DAM is to really make the case about what would happen if you did nothing. Like, what if you don't integrate? You're creating, maybe your constituents, your customers are experiencing disjointed experiences because it's not connected. You just stood up a dam and put it over in the corner and just created another silo within your organization. That's not good. So make the case of what would happen if you did nothing. All right. So that's I'll get off my soapbox. Time for political speeches are over. Let's see who took this one. And oh my goodness, can you believe it? We've now had 3 questions and 3 different winners. Congratulations, Madi, you are on the board. It's 1 to 1 to 1. Good job.
I can't believe it.
I can. All right. Here's another question that, another topic that invariably comes up in any digital asset management conversation, and that's a question around taxonomy. Right? I know it's a personal favorite of each of you. I know you all love taxonomies. You wouldn't be in this business if you didn't. But the question is, no matter how much thought goes into a taxonomy or your digital asset management structure, some stuff always gets filed under other. Is there a good way to avoid other or miscellaneous, or give it whatever name that you can? Is there, how do we avoid that catch-all bucket that we just all throw our junk? It's like the junk drawer of taxonomies. How do we avoid this? Madi, fresh off your first win, I think you go first on this one.
Woohoo! Taxonomy is my middle name. The other, the miscellaneous, the I don't know where this goes. One word. Polyhierarchy. That's your answer. If it belongs in the other drawer, then it probably could be shoved into another drawer where it makes more sense. Put the hat of the user on and figure out how they would use it. And if you can't find another way to use it, but let me explain. Polyhierarchy is when you can put a term in multiple places where they can have multiple parent terms. So they're siblings, right? Not siblings, but they're used across several faceted classifications. So you don't have to shove, it in one place. It can live in several places, as long as it's not too confusing. So I would say, keep your other drawer as clean as possible and shove them in another classification, even 2 or 3 classifications that the users want. Because the point is to have it used and not shoved away under other where no one knows what it means.
It's very hard to go after Madi because she is an infinitely superior taxonomist to me. So I will say what is probably much briefer than she probably had a very, very precise and well engineered answer. What I would say is that just don't allow it because it doesn't need to be there. Everything can be classified somehow. And I think words like other and miscellaneous come up when you think that things can only be classified one way in a lot of situations. So part of the beauty of DAM is that you don't have to put everything in one folder. It has brought us into an era of multifaceted classification. It has brought us into an era of things that can go into multiple places, multiple collections. Even you can have one user log in and see things organized a certain way and another user log in and see things organized another way. So if you have other, I think it's a cop-out, and it means you're not thinking enough about the content, and you're not thinking about, everything has an isness, everything has an aboutness, and you should be able to find something to put that in some way to classify it, and the user experience will take care of the rest. Mute, you're on mute, you're on mute, you're on mute.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, I think the other ladies on here are taxonomy specialists, but I have actually had this experience recently with a client who, yeah, everyone was dumping everything into the other bucket. And what I said to them, and what I recommended to them, was that, let's get rid of the other bucket. Don't give people the option. A well developed taxonomy doesn't have another bucket, right? And people aren't going to be looking into that other option when they search. So don't use it. Don't give people that option. I think about when I do my online grocery shopping or clothes shopping, right? There's never an other option. Everything is somehow categorized, even if it doesn't quite fit into that category, right? The grocery stores get around it by giving you a seasonal category. And if you look in that, it's just everything's in there. So yeah, don't give people the option.
All right, folks, let's see who gave the best answer with relation to taxonomies. And I'm predicting, I don't make predictions very often, but I'm predicting we're gonna have a new leader after this one, as far as our panelists go. All right, let's see. Ooh. This one's a horse race. Oh my goodness, it's close. Keep them coming. We need your votes. Get out there and vote. We're not giving stickers, but we need your vote. Let's go. All right. And we're gonna call it now with 53%. Madi is on a roll. As someone put in someone just put in the chat, someone call the fire station. Madi is on fire. That's really actual someone typed that, not me. So,
wow, that's so American. I bet that's an American.
You have fires in Europe, right? Oh, come on.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
But if someone needed a taxonomy, I would tell them to Madi, send them to Madi. I wouldn't tell them that I would do it. So I'm glad. That was the.
Well, we all had the same answer, actually.
There we go.
It was very similar. So I think some very consistent advice on that one. So good stuff. All right, this next question might be my personal favorite because it hits close to home. But the question is around DAM 3.0. And they say the term DAM 3.0 was mentioned today in Paul Murphy's presentation. And so the question is for you all, by your definition, what's the difference between an organization who's at DAM 2.0 and DAM 3.0? What is it? What are the key characteristics of each of those, and what would it take for someone to get from a 2.0 to a 3.0? I love this question. I could speak for hours on this. Teresa, you get first crack at this.
I get to go first.
To.
Well, Jared did a webinar on this topic a few weeks ago, so I think you answered the question very well, Jared. But it's really also, in my opinion, it varies from organization to organization. I mean, some companies will say DAM 1.0 was my first DAM, and it was probably a siloed DAM, and it was just for maybe marketing assets or brand assets or something like that. And DAM 2.0 is just moving to a second DAM. That's maybe just got more types of assets in it. But I think where we start to tilt in terms of definition is when it starts to get integrated and it starts to connect to other systems, or maybe it goes from local to global. You can have your own sort of criteria for what brings it out of its silo and what gives it a bigger scope. DAM 3.0 is very much when DAM is an engine for omni-channel publishing, for enterprise applications. And I would also use the term DAM as a service. So this is where you have a DAM that has an open API that technologies can go and pick stuff out of it, get the authoritative image, get the authoritative metadata, and use it in really intelligent ways. So I think that's a key difference. 2.0, you might have upgraded your DAM. It might be a better DAM. It might have more kinds of assets in it. But DAM 3.0 is about fueling intelligent marketing and intelligent content delivery.
There we go. Sorry, this is a perfect question for Teresa. I think she actually runs a whole course on this. So and Jared too. So if any of you want to learn more, definitely check out their course, which I think is on the Henry Stewart events page. This one for me, and this might be quite different, but for me, DAM 1.0 is where you've got a really basic DAM. It does all of the DAM core functionality, right? You're holding all of your content in there. It's on brand, it's finalized, it's organized, people can find it, right? DAM 2.0 and 3.0 now, or maybe 2.5, is getting into integrations and building that full ecosystem, right? So it goes beyond just having a standalone DAM system, but you're now integrating with other systems. And eventually the dream, the vision is to really almost have a headless DAM system where the DAM is seamlessly pushing content and publishing to your platforms, possibly personalization, e-commerce, all sorts of things, in a way that you don't even kind of realize that the DAM is there. That's my dream, at least.
Awesome.
Okay, now that's a great question. Yeah, and you're right, Jared. You should have a session on that as well. I wish I had heard Paul Murphy talk about what he thought it was. But I think DAM 3.0 is all about artificial intelligence. We'll let the robots do the image recognition. We'll use natural language processing to do some semantic sampling. We'll use an auto classification to put that into a taxonomy so that the rest of us can begin putting together specs for holographic representations in virtual reality. Because let's face it, our Christmas party, the office Christmas party, is all going to have to be in a virtual room. We'll all have to get virtually drunk. And this all needs to be, these are all digital assets. And as we move forward, God, I hope we don't have to do that anymore, but we might have a future where even our office spaces are going to be our own holographic icon of choice. I might want to be an elephant, perhaps, and you would all see me as one. But those should all be standardized so that we can all be in the same room and get things done together virtually.
All right, awesome. All right, let's go to the polls one last time here. Let's see who gave the best DAM 3.0 answer there. And while you're doing that, I'll throw it out to the group. I did create an image that I tried to explain the difference between 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 that I'd love to get feedback on from all of you. So maybe after we finish here, I'll post it to Twitter under the DAMFest Europe hashtag, and everyone can chime in there, and or reach out to me directly. Happy to have the conversation from there. All right. Let's see who's going to finish up here with the final win. And as this last voting is coming in, we are a little short on time, so we have 2 minutes left. So Christina, Madi, Teresa, I need you to start thinking about which question stumped you the most. So think amongst yourselves. I think we're going to end this poll here, and the last win goes to Teresa. So good job, Teresa, on that 3.0. I think you were the one who first started talking about the term 3.0, and I've stolen it from you, but that's not the first thing I've stolen.
Jared,
from you, so.
You are my longest ever colleague, so I would let you steal away as long as we, are always friends.
We'll see what happens with this election. All right.
It's all right. I'm living in another country, so it's okay.
All right, folks. So again, good job, great job, as always, and audience, great questions, really phenomenal. The questions I asked were a good representation of what came in, but there was a ton of other stuff that came in, and we'll share those with the Henry Stewart group. Actually, last time the ICP folks actually took all the questions and put out a blog post with some answers. And, you know, so that's a really cool thing. Hopefully someone takes up that challenge this time as well again. I'm not volunteering. I'm just saying, I hope someone does. All right. So we have 1 minute left. Christina, Madi, Teresa, which question stumped you the most?
For me, it was the I like the other bucket.
The taxonomy other. Madi, what do you think?
You know, the one that stumped me, and that's not because it's my favorite question, that stumped me is the first one of Sarah, who wanted to go from marketing to digital asset management. That stumped me as to why someone would want to do that.
So Teresa, you're going to break the tie here. Which one? You have to pick one of the
I have
other
to pick
two.
one of those two. So I was going to pick a totally different one. I was going to pick a totally different one. Well, if I had to pick between those two, I would probably pick the career one. You know, moving from marketing into DAM. I think just because it's. I thought. Yeah, I didn't think my answer was very good, and so that means it was a hard question. So
well, congratulations, Sarah. You stumped Rockstars today, and just remember, DAM, if you're doing it right, should be part of digital marketing. So it shouldn't be that big of a transition. You know, it's the engine of digital marketing. It is a critical part of digital marketing. So I think you're in a good spot. All right, folks. Thank you all so much for participating. Thank you to our Rockstars. Thank you to our audience, and thank you to the Henry Stewart folks for putting on a great conference.